The Committee to Protect Journalists says at least 64 journalists and media workers, mostly Palestinians, have been killed since the 7th of October. Some estimates say that number is much higher. Our reporter Yasmin Khatun Dewan has more from the newsroom.
An ever-growing list of names behind me. An unprecedented number of journalists have been killed in the Israel-Gaza war. The Committee to Protect Journalists says it has led to the deadliest month for journalists since the CPJ began gathering data in 1992.
Journalists as civilians need to be protected, and this is not happening in any sense in this conflict. So what we are seeing is one of the most dangerous conflicts for journalists we've ever documented, with journalists bearing the brand of these attacks, most of them Palestinian journalists, who are the only source we have, the only witness we have on the ground to bear witness to what's happening.
This is Samir Abu Daqa, a camera operator for the Doha-based news network Al Jazeera. These emotional scenes behind me here are from his funeral. The network said he was killed by an Israeli drone strike while he and his colleagues were reporting at a school used for shelter in Khan Yunis in Gaza, adding that paramedics were prevented from reaching Abu Daqa, who bled to death after being wounded by the strike. On the Israel-Lebanon border, a Reuters investigation found that their journalist, Issam Abdullah, was killed by Israeli tank shells that wounded 6 others. Rights groups say Israel should be investigated for possible war crimes over his death. The IDF has said it takes all operationally feasible measures to protect both civilians and journalists, and has never and will never deliberately target journalists. Beyond the at least 64 journalists killed, 13 journalists have been reported injured, 3 journalists reported missing, 19 journalists reported arrested, with multiple assaults, threats, cyber attacks, censorship and the killing of family members. The Committee to Protect Journalists have called the situation unattainable, saying the toll of such attacks on journalists has not been fully grasped by world leaders in a war which is proving to be one of the most dangerous for journalists in recent times.